Okay. What's up guys, Smooth here, and today I want to give you all my honest review on Bloodborne for the PS4. Now, right off the bat, when I started this game, I realized pretty quickly that there's no shield anymore like the other Souls games, and that the combat is a lot more fast-paced. You either have to jump into the fight or die. I mean, that's pretty much how it works nowadays. There's no backing off and blocking and, you know, timing everything with your shield anymore and having like a super powerful 100% physical defense shield like you could in the other Souls games. I will say in Bloodborne that the first hour, 2 hours, to me, in my opinion, are harder than the other Souls games, especially Dark Souls 2. I thought that game was hard the first couple hours until I started Bloodborne, and no, it's not. Bloodborne's first, it depends on how good you are, but hour to 2 hours is ridiculously difficult, especially if you're used to using a shield in the other games. But if you push through the beginning, you will be rewarded because it is an amazing game, and you will find out why I think so in a minute. So let's start off with gameplay. Like I said, it's super fast paced. With weapons, your melee weapon, all melee weapons have two modes. They have a short range mode and a long range mode, and it's super awesome. I haven't seen this in I can't ever remember seeing this in any game where, you know, you press L1 to shift it from long range to short range, and it has like a cool animation for all the weapons, which my favorite is the sword. But it's one of the coolest things. It's small, but it's one of the coolest things I've seen in games in a long time. I started with the cleaver. Just because like I saw it on all the commercials and on the box art and all of that stuff, and it was amazing. You know, it served me well for the first part of the game until I found the Holy Blood Sword, Ludwig's Holy Blood Sword, which I used until the end of the game. I beat the game with the Holy Sword, so that should tell you something. That's a really good weapon. If you find it, trust me, get it. I think it's worth 20,000 souls once you unlock it. Totally worth it. You upgrade it. You upgrade your weapons like the other games with shards and everything, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely cool. And you have like different runes and everything you could put on the weapons that give them different attributes and everything, which you can get some pretty beastly weapons if you want to. Now, with the mechanic of long range to short range, what I found to be most effective was you fight the weaker enemies, weaker mobs with the short range. With the short range, because it's faster, it gives you a lot more mobility to dodge around them and everything. Because like I said, it's fast-paced and there's no shield, so you have to be able to dodge instead of block. So short range I use for the weaker enemies, and of course I use the long range, which gives you more strength, more attack power on the harder enemies and the slower enemies, because obviously you do more damage. You have to know when to rush in though, like I said. You have to be careful. You can't just run in guns blazing, which you do have a gun, by the way. You can start with a pistol or a blunderbuss, which the blunderbuss is more of like a scatter shot, which is what I use because it's more effective in crowds, and I tried both. In my opinion, I think it works better with staggering, which is what the gun is for. You use it to stagger foes instead of using your shield. If you have to time it perfectly though. Right when an enemy's about to attack, that's when you use your gun, whatever it is. You shoot them, they get stunned, you go in for a visceral attack. Now, visceral attacks take off huge amounts of damage. Visceral attacks basically like when you sneak up on an enemy in Souls games and you attack them, and you go in for a special animation. That's what this is, and you use that when you stun them. Now, you get 20 shots for your ammo, which you can replenish on the D-pad. It'll take a little bit of your life away, but it'll give you 5 more shots. But I find that 20 is pretty good as long as you get your timing right. Like I said, just practice your stunning and with the pistol on lesser mobs until you get it down. And once you do, 20 shots usually won't give you a problem in areas. It definitely helped me out on a lot of bosses. Like I said, after I practiced for a long time, I found that parrying with your gun is how you easily beat bosses. Now, some bosses are harder to get. You can't get it on. I mean, you can get on every boss technically, but some of them are ridiculous to figure out, when to use it. But just keep in mind, I beat the final boss only using the stun ability, the parrying attack. So that's how I did it. Now, instead of Estus flasks like in previous games, you have blood vials. you get 20 of those as well. At first I hated this because I'm so used to getting the Estus Flask, but I like this system 100 times more than that Flask system, and I hope on all the sequels to either Bloodborne or Souls games or whatever, they continue to use this Blood Vial system. And it gives you, I think, maybe like 25 to 30% of your health back, give or take. And I found it much more effective. Plus, it's extremely fast, and you can move around while you heal, which is something everyone wished they could have done in the Souls games. Now, excuse me. Whenever you get hit, you'll have about 2 or so seconds to hit back on an enemy to regain your health. Now, if you do it right, you can gain all the health you just lost back, because it gives you, it's pretty considerate about it. You get about 2 seconds most of the time. If you do that, you'll regain all your health back, but it's one of the most risky things in the game, because some enemies, after they hit you, you can hit them and they can still hit back while you're hitting them, and if you're stuck in an animation, you'll die. They'll destroy you, so it's up to you. It comes in handy. It's saved me a million times, but you do have to watch out. And plus, it will help you save blood vials. Now, onto the graphics and style. For the PS4, this game, the graphics are top-notch to me. I mean, it's ridiculous how good this game looks. The frame rate usually holds a steady 30 FPS most of the time. It'll dip here and there and kind of randomly, but it's not too bad. The lighting, the textures, and the design are all 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's insane. You can tell they took a lot of time designing all the monsters and the enemies, the bosses. It is set in a very dark Victorian style area city, just think Victorian times and dark and nighttime, and that's pretty much what it is. The game has some of the most disgusting images and enemies I've ever seen in video games. And I mean that in a good way. Honestly, it's really like a survival horror story, it's just blood and gore everywhere, disgusting images, disturbing images, and it's crazy, man. But I love it. A lot of horror games these days, they don't get that, I think Bloodborne, honestly, even though it's more of an action RPG, is more of a horror survival game than Resident Evil or Silent Hill or any of those. It's 10 times better than those. So it's not like jump scares or anything, but it is a scary game, per se. All the bosses to me were designed with a lot of amazing tiny details, whether they have hair or they have clothes on, when they move, the wind blows and everything. There's a ton of particle effects that are awesome as well. Whenever you're fighting them, they have different parts or limbs falling off, or different things falling off them, hair and everything, when moving around in the wind. I thought that was amazing. So again, the graphics, the style, design of the game are all just top-notch, man. You can't really beat it. Now, with the story, I don't understand much about the story, except that you're like a hunter in a city that has to hunt. They're in the it's called, quote-unquote, the hunt is going on right now. Yeah, all of the Souls games, their stories are kind of convoluted. You really have to look up to fully understand, but from what you see in the game, I really like it a lot. Now, after the end of the game, after you beat the game, there's still chalice dungeons, which are randomly generated, and you can actually share them with friends. I mean, I haven't tried the share feature because I didn't see it. I don't know if it's in it yet, but I know you can share your favorites on there, and that's pretty cool. So that'll extend the game. And of course, you have all of your New Game Plus modes, which extend the game greatly. You're replaying the game with a harder difficulty, but you also get to keep all of your stuff. So, in conclusion, everyone, this is definitely and easily my favorite game so far in 2015, and it's easily the best game on the PlayStation 4. Now, I understand The Last of Us Remastered is also a masterpiece, but to me, that's a PS3 and PS4 game. I'm talking about, next-gen exclusive, well, it's current-gen now, but completely PS4 exclusive, and to me, Bloodborne is the best. Now, I have played all the exclusives on PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. I don't count PC because that's in its own league, but still, I don't. There hasn't been a PC game in the last couple years that's been better to Bloodborne than, in my opinion. And to me, out of all the current gen, if you want to call them current gen systems, Bloodborne is the best exclusive there is. It is 10 out of 10, and it is a must-buy for PS4 owners and Souls games fans and RPG fans. If you have a PS4, you need to buy this game. Thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and favorite, and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.